my name is Katie. Welcome. Please subscribe to my channel to get more content from me. So, I'm going to be reading off a piece of paper because I wrote down all my thoughts because it was too much to contain in my head. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. So the longer that we are in quarantine, the more I've been thinking about my life. Before we started quarantine, I thought that I was doing pretty well with my mental health. I thought it was still going up, but the more I think about it, I'm pretty sure I was just like at a plateau. I thought that keeping busy was the key to me keeping myself in check mentally. But now that I've had so much time away from the hustle and bustle of everything, I realized that keeping as busy as I was just helping me push everything to the back of my mind. Putting so much time and energy into activities that were stressing me out way more than I needed to be, doing so much damage to my self-esteem and my mental health. So I'm going to just talk to you guys about some things that I've realized during this time. So number one is stop holding on to people who don't care if you're in their lives. There are obvious signs when people don't want you around and they don't really care about you. They don't ask you to come around, they never message you unless they need something, and they don't care how their actions make you feel. They talk about themselves more than they ask about you. And then they're completely obvious about how much they like other people. Like, when you're with them, they constantly talk about other people. And when you see those signs and you acknowledge to yourself that you see these signs, it is time to let go. Take the loss, move on, because it's not going to affect them as much as trying to hold on to them will affect you. Number two, keeping busy does not mean everything's okay. Keeping busy just means that you're trying to avoid the obvious. There's something on your mind that you don't want to sit down and take the time to think about. But you can only do so much before you start to get tired mentally, physically, emotionally. And you are going to get overtired and you are going to crash. That happened to me lots of times. But it's just something you have to go through. But don't keep yourself so busy that you have to go through it. Like, don't do it. Number three is take more time out to do the things that you love. Since this quarantine started, I've obviously had the time to do things that I normally wouldn't have the time to do. Filming videos, coloring, working on my Melty Pokemon project, which maybe I'll show you guys one day, maybe not. Writing, painting, and having game nights with my family. You never really realize how much you miss being able to do those tiny things until you have the time to do them. I never even think about painting on a daily basis, but now that I've had time to, I'm like, wow, I miss this so much. Number four, this has been the big one that I have had to learn over the years, but especially right now. Stop stressing over things you can't control. There are so many things about the situation that nobody has any control over. We can't control that schools are closed, that we can't have family gatherings, that we aren't allowed to freely do what we want to do. There's nothing we can do about it. So there's no point in worrying. You can't focus on and stress over the things that are out of your control. This is especially hard for people with anxiety because we worry about literally everything. It's important to remember that we need to relax and focus on something else. And number five, stop taking everything personal. Not everyone is out to get you. Not everything is about you. This has been a tough one for me to fully grasp, especially when it comes to my Girl Scout troop. I have had 7 girls quit over the course of the Scout year. And at least 4 more that are done after this year's over. Every time I would get a message that someone was quitting, I took it personally. Was it something I said? Something I did? Was the program I was running too boring? Too hard? Was I not doing enough field trips? Did they just not like me? But honestly, 9 times out of 10, they were leaving because they're at that age where Girl Scouts is lame and they want to try new things. Or they're in so many activities that Girl Scouts ultimately gets the boot. It seriously has been so hard for me because I have taken it personally every time someone has told me that. And ultimately is not really my fault because people tell me all the time I run a good program and that my troop is great. So I honestly just think, like, now that there's so many other things that could be it, it's not me every single time. It's been hard, but I've had to realize that if my program sucked, I would have no girls. Like, none of the girls would want to be in my troop. And I do have girls that want to stay and that love doing it. So I have to kind of force myself out of that headspace that I'm the reason that everyone's leaving and focus on the fact that there are still girls who are staying. So I must be doing something right. I have to just stop stressing about the girls who are leaving, because there's not anything I can do. They've made up their minds. They are going to leave no matter what, and there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I did do. So, I mean, it's just, that's what it is. So, those are 5 things that I have learned during my time in quarantine. I'm sure I'll learn more since our grand reopening is moved into at least May 15th. There's been some talk about the middle of June now. Hopefully not, but we'll see. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. Comment down below something that you've learned during this quarantine, because I'm very curious. And please subscribe to my channel to get more content from me. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you next time.